Number seven, so who you nipa chain, Obia organ hana. Sana na ayi kuruno, and sana moja ebane, a free wa, na ayi diye ben. So say 5. Sana na so obi wu anya hwe. Nti wo de wu a ayi hwe.
Ebia na ono sabiu onka Ghana moa no ho.
Nti mesre, se ma yen so niema bi so. Mama yen kanchira brand sense masa. Ghana 2 million nya wo dia 2 million ye hye nsem Yewura John Dramani Mahama.
Abusafo ye mo bibia akwa na yemfa mbra yem platform we eso. Reverend Charles Owusu a politician. In fact, already in Simbi Ababontin. Efa Raphael Agyapong. Oreya Oko Ridge Hospital. The activist Oko Ridge Hospital. All of a sudden, the who yani se oni nurses, doctors se ohonum ene enya. Na Reverend Charles Owusu are making emphatically ochiremu ade a woye no NDC amanyuku no eno mu shechiri. Senkanye sa enka by now Raphael Agyapong has been arrested and has been detained. Anka omo bisa na no asem anase omo edine esie a omo bisa no de ekobaaye empo de ekosi ya ema o take that decision no. Ensem de Yewura Reverend Charles Owusu wakanse bebre na mempese meyeden mekasa bebre no meso se obeje mre ne yakọ ne yakọkoti ense no emu enchiremo wadaru macho adwen o comment section nim na like it. Subscribe for latest updates se unya subscribe o ya yenko na yenti ensem owura no editu dwa one health beka se personal bi so e ho no ma no so ede ne nkomo eto aso e ho no we ekoso ewo Peace FM the cardinal ni show ni sukokroko dwumadie so ene ono na hosti ye edema Yewura Kwame Sifakan yenti nsani bi na yekoba ye beto aso ede ama e yen platform we so
mamemfa abrantie rafri enikan no kwasem trudu se etoda okọ abanya yare sabia binuma na okọ na okọ akọpe ayarehwa toda eniye bi wo ha ayana ensem fata in fact o kasa obi ho kra na sebe anu yi enemu ayekra no ayana ensem fata no kwaso so ebinima ho keka kra so den e wo fam na die wo mun sun se enam se sebe yenye professionals nti when it comes to health you know ye ninim de wo bi ayarehwe mu nti no so wo de wo yarefo efrifie ba ayam hihie a wo didi akire no wo benya nka wodu ho na nka ya gene den ahwene na ebia ne ho ato na ma o de kọ den so omo so nyansa mu ne omo dwuma omo suane se de hihie tie no wo de patient bedu ho a omo kwan ya de efa so but most of the times ya na de abufuo ba kese kan se obi yare a wakodu ho no a wo fi se enipa na ewu ye nhwe no yeso kwaji card bra si kwaji so si bra kwaji se bra ba wo so de nipa no ba na wo na wo se nipa no si ebre na office o esenka I mean at once na nke so nipa no den e de hwanti to da eye bisepani konu ahan benifo se etase ne banyansafo ti eye a win-win situation wo de wo hwehwe ene de omso fi so mo ya ebeboa nembom no krenya meanim se adia abrantie Raf oyeye de ama antwa yi na mentimi so sorry oyeye kra so ye video na oye no but ayarefo fufura na omoda ho they were not part of the controversy they na ekoso na enye omasam omuda hodada ye hwe ena wo di wo patient eden aba so patient now dey buy no say nya attended to ani pakra me ameda ho so de me boni be na me maye wo be kikamu mama kwa ba panda ke ni yi obi kwa ha oda ho no kwa no sebi oni yare no kwa no ohia dede eye enti obi ba kwa so ya ma na duro so onom na onti relax because of yare o yare nti de yi na o ko na wo ba na dede na me ade atwa me nsa na moja na ho na ani na anodin iba de no krese ye nua pani comes if I can crack say once upon a time, is it Bedipeli brother? Back on brief, me refined the person Kai.
Kwame are you?
No, you're coming you back on. Solar are you? You pray, I'm at 37. If I don't know, Bridia, my time, I'm who say, or ya Bedipeli brother, no, and almost started someone attending to him. The Sanima we no a see when your hospitals are who do be say sometimes you need me power your crana, over to me at you feel. I will to me a cassa, my dear girl, and we did whatever and answer on a baby. Was one. Omo kuma papa, Omo badaye, Omo say, Obi Yarnoba, oh, the one be see a crock nipan, and you know, Subai, yeah, you free, you fear hold wedding, Ediba. If I make us one time be my name about call the private hospital. You call, you know, I'm a chair, a doctor, one female crown. And as some will be saying, I can't know, I know, will be saying, I asem. Na me parents na me akola ne call no it is a bit what I see say you mean ni pakra the bufu obi mu pa but I had to control myself because sabe enye ho me fie e bibi na de me den akọ ntina say me ma de obi mu bia akofam na akola no for the safety of the child no you hu doc de wa but in fact utu kwan na free yen ha ekọ krufofo so. Now, she said, "Yeah, you see, crocro patient, and Ahokika said you will be bar. You pen tem set your bed one panakena. How do you say, Ehano, is it a Katrina yen to ye? And orientation to saying patient, a health professional, in commodity at the same because who said, Gabono aye kakraka. Aye oha the way be see ahwew enkomo kura doctor kura no be di keke kura na timi ma ho to wabra yemfa eduru kura den emfa ma o. But look, any enom de bi no out to doctor office. O kan say na kwa na otro. O ya na wate aye dia mo. You need to have a conversation with a person. Because na only di nkomo na wetima kire wa de kro no kura den eyi. But nyeni panu so nyina na tisa. For that matter, until na any concern branch, no. Sanki kabuna na wakikamu hono. Na so kikamu or kika or yes, no, ebia. At the night or at the number hospital, no, any bibia ebekuno within that few minutes. And I never be you and I and Sasuti Koshia hospital at the same time. But I could case here, then I was so chamber. Ana baako de was so chain mienu or mienu de was so chain baako e ba nsa ma attend the office say ya so ni mu a ya nhwe a obetime free mu no before ansan ya ba onipa no so na nso nam say enipa nti ya pre say obi a be de obi a odi na obinya no santin na o ha na afia ma a house na nam ni nipa hospital na ye mehwe na enye sei ami sabi yo adwuma nso yo no mo kosu ya untimi hwa nipa no so ntina den ba hospital enti say na ba hospital na so untimi hwa ntina den ba hospital na say hospital no e take process no to so untimi hwa nipa na wo kikam sa sabi to me be na wo sa so wo wetima kikam sa no in fact say abrant here we e na kika nsem hunu bi say Ghana for sabi mfa nchame e me duru se me di ma no ka say nipa dodo omu nim nyansa sa na me pesa me kano say de o kan no say agimi for doors no the NDC me kan sa but nipa dodo enim nyansa na doors o man mu ana obusu nim faso na o man mu chaso ti say ebi wu a na ye de ben na mpese bia so wo ye nipa chen obi a organ ha na so de won sa na ayekuro no ansa na moja eba na etwa free ho a na ye de ben so say 5 unsa fingers here 5 ba ko picture free man say aka 4 na kai den say can you so why are you making noise I need to say you're very careful say to me a ye hwehwe no ye benya wo na mum kwan ye be fa so ye benya na ne asem no mpanifo wa asem bi o maka me dia to me kotoje won say o siriji ade a ye de ma o munu ade a de ma ne mum ba ko ani munyam ba ko e de e chen ba ko okoyi e na okokan say oh mama and our sister and our papa pacho anybody didn't buy we have so OC Breno Mr. Munti mo attended to know and from my na I say niema enkuya I'm sure say odi ebu ama nipa na ote no also the ebu be man back I na adwin so baby now ban say me meti meju na ban shout on me as if say wo buy no I mean are you the president of this country oba be do hospital because wo na waba why you team percent why you team percent agreement
na ona president be ko hospital report here team
na me say also oya be say SM fans yeah comfort be ya you tisa what they say but me just oya member what they say yeah SM fans no
there be say free fans come movement
movement no
SM for life
yeah na yewo movement mu na yewo me SM for life you are na yewo but I'm just saying
we are shatter fan.
Me shatter fan.
Hallelujah.
Shatter fan.
Me shatter fan angaza.
We are the ranga.
Yes, yeah. Nenyo ba ko em cry on God. I say no one is higher than God. Name the park say. You see, now I hospital. Abram ko fo ahodo ba ho. O kasa say Ghana ya odia. Pacho Ghana ye nche mu fa o fama o. Say wo abrantie raf wo de ni ti the open na de Ghana den. E be ye. Na sabe oko 37 na enanka soldier for no ho no enti go betimi akwa ye de oye we ana ko police hospital en go betimi akwa twa video akwa didi attempt den akwa bobo table so ka wontimi nye wa wonim se ba bia ogina no you dare not do that but so obo obi wa mo obi o me kwa nye ho hia me enti atiamu kra ti mu obi kra den e traumatized e yam hihie no kra no nipa no ba adwuma kwa na den no osuro kro ye edu ba bi na police fo kwa adwuma na bi nim de uniform timi hye bag mu oni ekunkum nti okokudu a na wakwa hye uniform ade nti anka wo hye ntena ka no nti so obi kwa adwuma no hu se so obi party can say supporter no officer wagidin kakra because of na team didi nti
na Ralph no or a party supporter
me dem nim
akwa na indiscipline mon kan say so indiscipline
any party sir he's doing it I mean under the cover of a political party and no why sir na asema eti ko say nim say MPP power no obi ya de na say or no twitwi MPP kakra bia or yes sir because onim say ntimi nchi no say nti na all the all ye and nti na onim minister onim obi foforo na nka ka say ordinary person bi no number bia say nka ontimi nko minister kwa nkochia no nka ono kwa nko be suro say minister na ba ahokra no nko be koye ne akwa kochia no but he feels say oye niam bi ema out of that niam oye na benefit party ni ma na ba power nti ono so so nya tumi a otimi de oye and na say your team clone man obi afa telephone odidi president atem odidi vice president atem odidi ahemfo atem odidi asofo atem odidi nananom e papa no muslim mpani fo atem obi ya timi di atem say the opel because depending on baby officer oye adwuma ko so oye adwuma MPP a obedi NDC fo mpani fo ina atem oye adwuma NDC a obedi MPP fo ina mpani fo ina
atem obonyina so be sori ye chene so mbe sori akwa akogina police eyo
na ya so na nkofo anya kwan say omo de atenie mu no atenie mu e ka say ahemfo ene ahema no atenie nkwa no mu de o na ye nya nkofo support atenie o man mu na sabi yeti we whether is the now the Danko Akufo-Addo president Mahama out here kunya so vice president Jana Yoruba Umia president Kofo something for obi eni hu anka wonya na buse oye ne buse ni anka ompe ye amanyosemi nyina akra ye prese nyame de yembedu akiri hwe omo so na de ko na panimu etimi fa panimu obetimi awo na say president Mahama ya de bi amane ye me fedodo kwawu time kwawu business can say association for no koshia oko business summit no na so oti say na Danko Akufo-Addo person obechia no so David o chemi mami mume den me nko ba bi owo ono president no de anidi ekotena ni nua pani den enchen bombon komosre ohwe a the inauguration day portion mani gie ho pa kese ba bia president Mahama na oka na oni na Danko Akufo-Addo omo e kan say ayonko fa e dom ntem ni ba bia e free ba na se de usika nka and na say good no obi edi ebe wini president ebe wini na oso ina nka de oye ne say nka okay Canada kire the pass the kind of regime and the leader no so must say man or my so but who speech or my yeah a canipa boom a bony and idiot womb even it was short but powerful nanso ya chita afọ mu di chire ne timi fam penimfo yi si ho tina temsa na me da bia me kana na me call some contest election me abi come with him just to become an MP and next year kwati empo enough more nante kra oba nante kra bi du baby but agita afọ na sabi o mu di nsemu no mo ma yen ka no kra nchire mo abrante raf se wan kwankwa ye obi a woye o tilt towards the NDC a wasan ka o ya china tum mo yen ka no kra kadi okoye ho no ke chine tumu ko the fact say we pre-anche say obetima ko bu obi hospital akodidi doctor bi atem akoye obi bibia me se me gitum de hospitals ni bi ye etia ya yire nom ni ye maame nom nurse fo no bi maame obetima wo no kwa no odi natem it is true e wo but two wrongs doesn't make one right the fact say okoye ya nhwe no nchire say papa bi ka say o video say akache ami ameda hai sabi dia me asami edi na fa me ho ono oda ne bed so ani ye video mu nyina di o mo beto bonten say wo one person who obi akọ hospital o yare a wo fi say odi agro obetime wunti na no 37 me hwe papa bi so video o say mo so mo demonstration wo ye no e ma ne Biden e free mu 37 ho na wo kan say mo hyeda mo ye demonstration na mo de ball aba beto kwan finfin ball say be ya be ma enipa na ekọ na ye ho be kire nke nye bone ke nyina sanka e ho kire ya ade kro na mo twen adwen sisi no nke be boa na mum hospital in front of hospital in football pitch and now Jubilee has cry in front of a hospital and now the ball ato kwan finfin na wa hu se we asete here onyame aye som no we have to be careful. Bible said dua na edua na so aba no ene ye betete se na no so obi wu anya hwe nti wo de wu a eye hwe
ebia na ono sabiu onka Ghana moa no ho
nti mesre se ma yen so niema bi so mumma yen kanchira branten se masa Ghana 2 million nya wo dia 2 million ye hye nsem eye yewura John Dramani Mahama ene ne mpanimfo a ye bom pa ye mom se nyame nye omadom no wontimi nye oman ne yi ma somra mfa so ma ye nyina no basa eniamo hu sim sei ne so ade ba kon aba wi ase kra men tia sen se even dead body kra na obi ko dead body a no akotwa selfie ho obi ko shi obi ha no mo video ye we ya no mo video ye ya no mo video I mean what kind of what is this content because I mean and no more video niema bi ani kwa say content na ya video dia ba to monte yes sir e kan enti we menua akando minister minim say niema say nya na obeka say emra on so bad anyamba let us condemn the actions of the gentleman ni wie na say hospital no mfunsuo bi ba o ma fa I can't wrong. Hey, the fact that we are nurse and now you're doctor, or you might answer me what me, I'm wedding at me. The mum say, what you may saw your mamma's so in the year. Why I say a fashion, get the fashion, but ye can't immune the boom. You ever say, didn't no bob in ye because of minion a raffle, ne video no name and tell because the old year bet me and for cry to me and cause me to attack you. Ghana, me can say you people for time no more issue office. Come na Agyapong time. Who's an office man opa. That could be the go for Johnny way or fire anymore. I'm just not there some so. Omo mpona no ba bi na obi be fa omo say omo mra ha no me didi. Nti ade krokro nti omo ba ho no. Ontiase. Nti hwe no a ya movement for we have motorcycle. I said to one.
SM for life.
SM for life. SM for ya na kakra ya de call hoboni. What you say? Now, obi to say you know Ralph, you will follow us.
But on the light side, and run obi. Social media we got to say Eti SM for your mko. Enye we mu na police for on because.
Na na we dey ba ko bi ka ago ka mi kan say akwa bi say. And then you wait to make that circle. I call. I won't try the new energy because I go for making the phone here.
Away demonstration.
Me have videos no ba kwa bi. A police ni gina ho e be wan za kwara yin na to je na usie na na so achi ba me say.
I heard you odi ayabo ya ko ho no. Odi sabola no.
The SM for life.
Now me who say okomfo bi eba na okura na snap ni eyina or dey snap bi gu na chi na ni say I was say na dey wetin wa dey wetin wa that ye ni afani e kan say you ko boss even say Romancha Roman na dey wakofa dey ntia so fa dey abafia na e wobati anti mesre
anyway ba me ko nia e doc so
na me dey ma no si mesre say ye ni ma bi say no emwa yen aso man not emrebia na aya na ye person say me right me right be no told that you how anything ever.
May I say SM Reverend Charles Owusu.
Yes, SM for life.
Doc.
Nana.
Omanyana can say come order that though. Come order that.
We no say we are the wrong Ghana. Hallelujah. I hear what the boys singing and say. Ready. Doc.
Nana. You best start to be a Reverend Ewie na
na mesu man ka say the Charles kan be en kan bi because me heard why when you dey to na asem bi a Charles kan bi onu so be kan no bi abotra
say me feel the idea na me colleagues na
say attack you
me there no one duty
to defend your colleagues,
to defend my people.
Yes, but so yes as one now I offer who will defend the patient.
Yeah no fairly defend my people. Nana, there's one aspect ya nin koso say we share WHO say we pese we review any health system e wo wi ase because your sector no ye strong continue WHO e wo pillars ensimfoa ensia abra obi bia pese ohwe health sector na oye mu pensem mu na oboa ema health sector bia ekonanim wo wi ase no WHO e the 6 pillars na go akwan mu na eba ankankan abibre mu ha ene aman bia afi na efifiri sen ewo sikase mu no WHO e de niema mienu eka nsimfoa nsia no ho na enema mienu a ye de kan ho especially in the African sub-region no eye brofumu ne friend community mobilization ene research esi wohwe abibre mu na wohwe the way a yesu ne ye ban tie the way a ye niema as abibifo na na untumi nye bibi without the community untumi o health sector untumi nimu without the community participation se omanfo no enka ho a enye yi se omanfo no nti health system na se a enye yi into WHO at the community participation or mobilization eka pillars no ho e ma ne ye nwotwe together with research into hrese health system no e won kutahude bebre with omanfo no na omanfo no ayeye Ghana fo no eye major stakeholders e wo health system nim na health system no interact a lot with omanfo no enti obi bia nya rehemu ehu ne hu say health system no betum pon a omo participation kutahudie a temamufo ene health system no benya no eboa ema health system no tumpon after all eye mumunti na health system no wo ho eye omanfo nti na health system no wo ho na health system no e wo ho se e be solve the health needs of the people ɔmanfoɔ no apɔmuden nti na health system no wɔ hɔ nti to ɔmanfoɔ no health system no ɛyɛ a delivery arm to them ɛno nti obi bia yɛ stakeholder ɛwɔ yɛ health system nim obi bia wɔ ano ɛno nti na wɔbɛkɔ hospitals no na at all point in time no yɛwɔ baabi a yɛse fa wo suggestions anyhow a uhu yɛ service no ɛbɛto dwa wode ɛtrɔ ɛmbɔ wodin po na fa kɔhyɛ box bi mu na daa no yɛkɔyi ɛkenkan ɛma yɛhu how a ɔmanfoɔ no ɛhu service na yɛ provide no abrɔfo mu yɛfrɛ no client satisfactory survey a yɛyɛ ne daa ɛkyerɛ se ɛwɔ se yɛhu how a timamufo no receive yɛ service sɛnea reverend ɛkasa about sɛnea wo ebi mu timi receive ayarefoɔ ne nkitahodie no bibibia ɛbɛkɔ so biara no fa to krataa so na fa bɛma mpanyinfoɔ na mpanyinfoɔ from time to time no ɔmo hwehwɛ ɛkɔ kan ehu bebi a yɛtɔ sin na ne bebi a ɛwɔ se yɛhyɛ mu kina nti ɔmanfoɔ no yɛ part and parcel of the health system but obi also a responsibility doctors, nurses, midwives have a responsibility because of responsibility ninti anyhow omo receive you any service omo de ma wonti e na yesi bibia anko yi a brana beka na mpanyifo ebetu ho anamo saa nso na e wosi ye hu se yen ye kopɛ ayarehwɛ anase ye di yadofo bi kɔ hospital akopɛ ayarehwɛ no yen so wɔ responsibility na yɛmfa mmara so ɛnhyɛ yɛnsɛm sɛ bibi ni na yɛnte ase a ɛwɔ se yɛfa the proper channels na yɛde yɛn mu asɛm atudwa na mpanyinfoɔ ebesom obiara nya rehyɛ mu sɛ wokɔma doctor nurse ana midwife yi hu complaint a health facility bia ni hɔ a ɔnkɔfrɛ doctor ko ana nurse ko ɛntie na no mu asɛm ɛnya hwehwɛ mu ne ɛkɔɔ so na sɛ wofa bibi te sɛ maternal mortality sɛ ɔbaa afa yɛfunu anaase ɔkɔwo anana wo akyiri na sɛbi bibi aba na wafiri mu yɛyɛ audit every ɔbaa bia obewu because of nyinsen na wo mu nsɛm bia no yɛyɛ audit akwala bia sɛbi obefiri mu a ɔyɛ under 5 this day yɛyɛ audit na in most facilities ewu bia sɛbi ebeba na enye obi a yenim ne situation na yenim sɛ bebi a duru ne die eye yesoso ano keke bia obefiri mu no yeye audit na bebi bia etosin bia no yebehu through the audit enti mayen fa no sɛ yede abusuafo kɔ na enkrofo ye adwuma anyhow na omu free mu omu afọ mu ho adi yeye audit in most cases every day for abeko okay ewa yaresa bia enti no omanfo no nya arehye mu doctors ne nurses no enni ho se sebi wode wo yare aba no ye bua okunfo na wakowu eno nti ye kɔ ayaresa bia ye nya abotre kakra. The place is called an emergency unit for a reason. Cases bia beko ho bia ye emergency. Now in our work no ye frɛ bibi triage. Sebi mani sign omampani. So omampani adru hospital. Na sebi ye nye nipa mu yiyimu. Na me amenam street isui. Se shatter fans ye street. Na reverend eso ye street because oye shatter fan. Obi a ofri kwan no so sebi ebi munu no. Obedru ayaresa bia ho a enye status ene kasa. So omampani aba na ni tie ne ya. Na obi a oye street person aba na emergency a I will look at the person ahead of omampani. It is called the triage system. Wa o situation no e wo soro no ye hwe first. Enti at the emergency na situations cases ben na ekoso. En sana ye nuanu mu koduru ho. Se wo koduru ho no obi dia ni soso e chen wo dia nana priority is given to nani diani esosono.
Asa me so amegina ho na maba no metimi hwidie hu se enko yi a nya me metra.
Ye na ye survey no ehu se nana wo de ani so anasa ni so enti ye ma color coding. Na ane de ye normal no ne abo green. Na ane de ye wo adantem no ne abo yellow. Na ane de ye wo stropan no ne abo red. The ball red it means wo de no ani so echen obia. Priority is given to that person. Kona koye folder ne bra no does not determine say e be show na ye show. Go and do the folder because you do it. Your presence there and change the triage.
So Ghana card into the folder here.
Use the Ghana card to go and do a folder for the person. Because me sure you are still right. But your presence there will not change how the management will go. Enti na wo share soaps movies here. Abrofu ye ubedru emergency wa na ya wo obia tiko concern say ahana mopem obia nraw. Ba hano because of how our relations tiene your sense of community ni we ni no. Ye the human face ye juma. Na ye ntumi mpamo nkrofo bi from certain areas. But ideally you shouldn't have a patient relative or emergency room. And nothing na ye obi hu adwuma ye pam obi bia no. The doctors and the nurses omo hia adwumu find to work. The moment you make them destabilize, you are disrupting the thinking process. And adwuma na ye ne for book na ya kwhwe na ye we ni akenkan. You are reproducing what you've learned. Experience awenya on the job together with the knowledge you acquired in school. Now the adwuma. Say me yawo CS. Na ma you akwala wie na wo uterus bleedia. Now we na now we yet act we are. You've distracted me. It was me locating baby and mojani free. And under no circumstance should the doctor lose his cool. And then the composure. Because the moment you lose your cool no composure no, you are halfway through the case. Say enkoye. Entinia ye wo hono. Enye an assault to doctors nipo na ye issue no. Eye how that assault would affect other patients, including the other nearby. Okoye sa no na omo ye panic that nana only pana o fighting for the life no you've already put the person at risk because you disrupted the thinking process and the composure of the health workers into what put even your own personnel then buy at risk including others. And there's a huge issue of privacy. As a nana say obanya 16 years now the neighbor anymore ona wo hwe no e manager ni demand ba bida but me take you ban history e wo wanim e wo say me ban wo step aside na me bisa oban say opese cardinal e wo hobby ansa na me na kasa oban djutu mu ansa na nana me frɛ aba manim enti me nua Charles the doctor na mfiu a enye si dan sebi o mfiu onye ni patient and oban so wo privacy enti won ka wo ho even in the first place so oban no nya 16 years e kodia. But when you're 16 there, you can be there. From 16 going in there, you shouldn't be there. So Obano can say me pemba power and some near Duaba. Now you call emergency. Now in most cases, emergency cases, it be when you're naked. Now you the camera, I could synchro force. Now you trap pictures, expose other people. Medical privacy. Say what yare now oba. Now who can fuck and who poor. Under no circumstance, say me disclose near how. Actually, who can football. Me new consent even in certain cases, and now mu yare to say HIV/AIDS po. Nana, even though you nim say, oh yeah, risk to who can follow. I can't tell you who can follow, even though I at risk. I just say me bisa consent, and now say wow be catch no. So mommy who to me and sana me to my disclose to who can follow. Into medical privacy, very key. Say oh your doctor na me your doctor no be behume. Na the case no chire madwen na me per second opinion. Na me compare opinion from my colleague. Nana. And what's me bold deepo in the narration. Even though my colleague doctor, you describe the case to the person. When I may odwen ho saying. Under no circumstance should I even disclose my patient no deal to my colleague doctor. That is how private a humanity.
At best pseudonym. At best pseudonym and initials. Patient cardinal nana ya kesi na mama no ni initials CNK. Patient CNK. Enokrat maklu.
And she say I saw camera asking for so emergency there. Nana and try ye. Now question is say, is it because seemingly no no tilted towards NDC intina? Yes, anana. Because it's not the first time. We 37 situation now. That no make 37. What happened there? Me ko asasi radio and opano. Me return no. I saw everything there on that Saturday morning. Now Parliament nanse ya sticker. Edi ena bibi a ida kudruni. Inti ni graduate from demonstration to Parliament sticker there. And now this is what we are facing. Is it because the person is aligned with the NDC? Inti yen to mean kana semana. This is where the politics of insult, attack, any bia. Your dream say boy in opposition. This is where we are, and now you are in government, and you are faced with the same person, and your management obviously a touch him on the approach to the person, and explanations be brief, and people in government, Nana yenyanti ase, obi bia a stakeholder once again, your health system but responsibilities and so wo ye tu sebi ajamwa sofo no na ye tu momone sofo ye doctors ne nurses any midwives so baby bia your touch man no ye happy again pressure wo yes we be call patients ne doson wo hwe OPD enkrofo egu ho na wo se wo hwe omo wo hwe emergency wo hwe ward enkrofo egu ho theater list e wo se wo koye surgery na pressure wo but ye ma ye come aba form na yetumi ye na ye betumi aye within your time period no na ye ni year na patient no call with the nigia and no sebi more substance ewo
mate
enti
mami ji alaji nso
nana ne call ye ne de anko ye condemn no ye nko hospital enko attack doctors enko attack nurses the bibia ye adwuma no ye safe place under no circumstance should say your workplace ebe ye danger zone amaye inti antwa yi nana
mate mami ti alaji na zero nso so na si ewie na se brain bi o man mama mo 1 minute no maka wi mchen bi se brain nim so a wi mchen na nyama inti mo beko me chano alaji.
Well, now I think for more stretch of imaginations, you see how Rich Hospital condemnable from beginning to the end. There is nothing to justify the CWO Rich Hospital. I mean, Métier, the Minister of Health, condemn, and I mean every rational being let him say I didn't see what I was a boy doctor now mesre I think the young man involved there is more to be looked at with his attitude and behavior towards other people. I would say because one area one day na be before akusi oh say ebia na bibia to chima na bibisa. So I think we must do a critical analysis. The security service and all everybody was zero and do a more profiling of the gentleman very well. Now so be here one be so na ya this one also aboard because they were here in your man there's something untoward. It was let me be very frank. It's so mommy because the TSC say Wako Hospital now want to win now. Even though, let me also be very fair to the gentleman, maintain a side of the story throughout in some way. See a payment there. Maintain a side of the story. On the other side, I know video. Correct. I would also say give him that benefit of doubt, but your man no said no see any your man as this is mame. Let me be very honest. Now, make us also na make akusisu say your dog kaya no. Emede say o katre yem pepe say obe defend ne juma. O kawiye no ka say there are instances in soa o to yeveze enkrafo na o to momone sofo. Enti se sin to bi so ewo wo mo side a ewo say wo mo so hwe na wo mo yedi. This leads me to one issue. Me kai pa say ye wo ho na national service for no ka say wo mo be compulsory military orientation of their service personnel. Me fi say emre na so say emre bi wo why wo say ya na emre we. I say so because I'm a beneficiary of that military orientation. Now, the transformation I the bemau and the ability, your ability to multitask and weave through a difficult situation, you know, a strong because a training ketwa and the bemau na what say what, and if you are able to survive the training, one can say you are a changed person. I'm very, very, very serious about it because I know it. I'm a beneficiary. Now, sebeba sanswa na me fi say ebebwa on the part of health workers, they are overwhelmed with the nurse to patient ratio, doctor to patient ratio. So now so it definitely will move them to situation abeba adiano afuno. Into the tendency and the likelihood say their reaction to patients, you know, will be different or high. Now, young patients and also the understanding our more Emma hospital will be a while office my baby chiano. And they are procedures. So you make a 1 year procedure now. Ebi a wo mekwa ko do doctor ono only ho now I catch a doctor that says say now they buy and I say this is what I've done so far to arrest the situation. Enti processes are media be say ye nyina no ye ma ye nte ase na sinto e wo bibia ye nyina ye tumi aye dia ye betimi aye ye de bebo asinto. Now the other part of it is the attempt to associate the said young man to the NDC. I am a one workers here. I mean, young man, no, if there is a political party we can associate Ralph and his cohorts to, now the Incrobi's party, CPP or say whatever, because that is the ideology they seek to promote. Or share a t-shirt or more share. There is more of a Nkruba and Kekamu. So that attempt to associate him to the NDC, you know, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate because as NDC as a political party, Mijidi say Sadia we see na NDC ni executive na wakotu sana monwe. By this time, knowing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama very well, by this time, that your friend will be here, you reprimanded. I know that for sure. So we are making then we are all my appointment in the Kikamu. The need into the extent say even your social media handle. To the man Mahama TV Jamre, then I watch what are you promoting? Does it conform to the standards or the Twitter and I say or no one because I done it. If it doesn't, you'll be reprimanded. Meaning, I know that for a fact. So there is no way me sitting here would accept the fact that conduct of the gentleman are alien to our political tradition and then to our leader and the OD anymore. Na bibi ebemede. Obeye NDC ebemede. Bia if there are issues we can use also our political tradition and the way of we do our things to transform him. But as it stands now, on your NDC, ma obi and then just to score political points, say yeah, they know Ebeka NDC for him. Because if that is the case, then you want to find political allegiances, the panel war and associate him with the NDC. For the fact is that this act is wrong. But I don't see how this act is different from the sea war Ashanti region be a trim. Political party MPP 42 Musem Kwalano and Kudi Sadia and Yamra Semo and court and that was wrong. Yeah. How did they criticize it? But they came out to support the boys. That is what we saw. They came out, we saw MPP for supporting the boy because that is the agreement that one or more. And the boys and Kasa to be what did they do? One more attack equally an institution. Our bar are painful. Or no, and no, send ya attack doctor here. And I said, Nessie, honestly, attacking. And we didn't see such reaction from them. We can share Ghana and your Chinese film. Say, who share Chinese film? I say, Baku obetini sa na waku kumu obi papa. Akwara no ne pada ya kumu ne papa no so no so be nyi sa na watreni sa na wabe kumu yi. Na yeah, I mean, I don't think that is how we want to place Ghana. I am not making this reference to say BAC na that's not what I'm saying. I'm making this reference to the people who are attempting to associate Ralph with the NDC. Now, maybe someone also say, fine, if because of NDC, NT and Bonia, I want to know your stand. When similar thing happen,
so that
and know so that you would have now the credibility to condemn or accept.
Assuming they didn't have the credibility then.
If you didn't have the credibility then. So what gives you credibility today? And on a friend in Nyachum so ma nana meno say
before I'm back as an say and na enye any see yem fan say and na enye AC. Obi ampo anka ho hwe a
enti ena ebe ya asem say na ebe ka no because obi nso ebe feel say adenti na menko ame de because ye nyina ye Ghana for ye nyina ye bo within the political space enti obi de oya adenti na obi aka no obi de oya obi anka. How do you expect to say moving forward obenya prepare yo? That is the difficulty. Because me so eba ma adwe mo na me feel say okay me dey me ya obi anka every day me every day to come back to this same issue.
Just a minute before you wrap up.
Yeah.
Now let's pay attention to what Alhaji Naziru is saying. There may be the need for security profiling as well as thorough medical examination. Let's not take anything for granted. Dr. James Kwabena.
I've been always condemning this act by Raphael Agyapong activist. Medicaka Owusu shasi ewo baby ena ene odi ebe wie o baby na baby o shasi no ami say oyoya one kan ho asem ena ene odi abawuram ababepie aban bi so. And you can attest to the fact here Raphael Agyapong e share sa nemu wi ase anye nemu oni Oliver Bakavamawo face the country convener Oliver Bakavamawo and almost share sa tactics we ase na one demonstration be and a protest be omo ye bra national cathedral and so mbe kaya 2024 I think so early 2024 and omo ye demonstration be na demonstration no na efa national cathedral omo tu amana to honum keka enkoma na de bia sika Ghana yihia sika omo di kotu amana keke de to honum na Oliver Bakavamawo ade bia e ma medwen ho amanti ase da eni se be protest ne koso a police for chichi omo binum na ade otimi hwe so abusuafo Raphael Agyapong any Oliver Bakavamawo they have similar attitude. I any kwan say ye entertain omo because sometimes you know as omo ya de papa ebe wi achi no na akwaya de bone said the na make no otimi koti okotu eye key okutu key police for key wo bra na protest ne ekoso medwen ho amante ase na mebisa me ho se is then na emrantie we omoyo mo ho sa ana is it because of say ban bi to mochi ana say ni sen hunti eti adene free baby na ba bedru baby any kwan say so it is condemnable behavior I was a condemning I was a put to stop at it ade bon say echina na obi afoma kohwe ne nkwa ansa yakasa branti di oye yensi hunu me Raphael de biaya na sometimes nyema bi oye manije ho but the way and manner how this man he reacts to certain issues a very very abysmal a very alarming I was a painful to munensi wono no mo hwe abranti ni ye because sometimes oye nyema bi a odwen ho bi say abranti ni ti se bi ni ti e wotwagina so bibi wo mu a affect na negatively. Mr. Muniana Mochum Tejina so me mumanintia. But I want to understand. Say Rafa no, I don't understand. Maybe you want mentia say. The other sticker or the camera see sticker so sticker coin and all can or can be see easy sometimes as some now can no but the way obesi approaching the panel anyhow obesi account some no obeka won some no and then a situation ni critical and then a situation ni what critical and then situation ni critical because ayana sometimes utimi bisa ho say akwa we no oni babiti anase oni dwuma bidi enti osoro ya na wa oye nyema se de ope yemi se ho se na okwohefa ena onya accident when so bian bisa sa question no okwohefa ena onya accident a ni sense ni omoka se ni fingers eye injured no yemi se ho sa question so no eden policy ya I man no oboji into that premises honum hospital facility honum no yemi say ho eden ni see here boys now dey omudi lechi no where were they going no more kwahifa I am suspecting this guy because ade awoye no enye enra na mehwe one nurse bi o chiremu a wa born nsa ordinance born no se fitch o se sen o born fitch anase o tape no like nurse ni humu sunsun ye so fitch na anase o tape no o se fitch no ye o born dindin so anase o born onhudio like wa born amani ni nompeni ni bone na dislocate a dislocate o chirema ni nsemabu a omudi ahye ayim ese bandage endi ubisa ho se edin abranche ni na ho by this time say no kwaro se ono na cause that damage na edin abranche no one na ho by this time me sometimes me follow no ma subscribe to the channel on YouTube fellow Ghanaians rap the fellow Ghanaians so ma subscribe but the name or koye ne it is condemnable every reasonable Ghanaian ma see say the oye no enya de pa any kwan so every reasonable Ghanaian must see say the na Raphael Agyapong ye no enya de pa it is condemnable I was a condemning no matter what it is yenko hospital mu nkoye sa although mu behavior ni sa nyema sometimes a mau like a pistol off and as a mau get like unya some kind of abufobi but it doesn't prompt you to do something which is not acceptable. Anyway, your comment section you mean Raphael Agyapong there ya semu abusafo ya sempa ye bompai ye hwe se emra no ni bedi because Ghana ni nyobi adia Ethiopia ntimi nsoro nya ne ope what you say hanom ayi number 1 authentic platform Mega TV Macra bye bye.